Yes, previous classes we are discussing about the Pig Latin languages. Okay, the language which can be used by the pig, right? So if you want to write this script, you have to use Pig Latin languages. And these Pig Latins, they use two execution mode. Okay, one is called as local mode, and second is going to call as the MapReduce mode. Okay, local mode means we are going to access file from the file system. Okay, we can do some transformation, and then you can store result into local file system only. That is going to call as a local mode. And if you are switching to the MapReduce mode, it means you are accessing data from the Hadoop, from the SDFS. It means reading data from the SDFS. Then you are doing some transformation, and then what we can, after transformation, you can store result back to SDFS. So these are two main execution mode of the pig. Now today classes we will discuss about the operators used in Pig Latin. What are different types of operators they are using in the Pig Latin? Okay, because we have many operators, we will discuss most important operators which is generally used by the Pig Latin. Okay, now we will see one by one the operators. You are going to see operators in details in Pig Latin. The first operators which we are going to use, that is called as load. This is most important operators. Okay, so what load is? Default step delimited inputs can give folder names into to include all the files in it. It means we see this one. It means we are going to where? We are going to the pig cell. This is called as what cell? We are in the pig cell. Okay, and here we are creating a relation. This is going to call as what? Relation. This A I am going to call as what? I am going to call as a relation. Just like SQL, we have a relations, right? We have a table. Here you can call as the relations. Okay. Now this is I am going to call as an operator which is used in the pig. What these operators will do? These operators will take the file. Suppose this is a student file. Okay. In this file you have many datas. For example, you may have the ID number of the students, you may have the name of the students, okay, we have the mark 1 of the students. Like this, you may have many fields. It means this file contains ample amount of data, massive amount of data. Okay, so this massive amount of data we are going to load into where? Into this relation, which is called as what relation? Relations A. Relation A. By using what? By using what operators? Load operators. So it means now here this A is holding the data of what? The data of the student, data of the students. Okay. Now here what I'm going to do is that load only with field separated by tab. It means by default this data will have a field which is separated by tab only. It means suppose if I have ID, this is one field I have. Now suppose we have another field called as name. Now this field is what? This field is being separated by tab. You are giving some tab space by default. By default, you are giving some tab space. Okay. So if you are writing these load operators, the default space between the field must be the tab. Okay, suppose I have another field I am taking. Suppose if I am taking another field is what? Mark 1 for instance, for my instance. Again this is a field. So how you are going to separate? Again using what? Using the tab spaces. So this is a default for what? For this load, for load operators. Right. So if you are not going to specify anything, means I can understand that this file, within this file we have a data, within this file we have many fields, and all these fields are separated by tab only. We have the tab space. This is your understanding. I can understand with this statement. Okay. By default, if there is no such things are given, you can understand that this file have the record, and this record will have different fields, and all fields are separated by the tab space only. So this is what I mean. Now what you are doing is that we are loading this this file into a relation called as what? Relation called as A. So in this relation now we have the data of the student, data of the students. So if you want to load this data, okay, if you want to load this data, what we have to use? What operators? Load operators. Load operators can be used. Okay, we have to use the load operators. Okay, now for example, last classes we discussed that we have a data into SDFS. Okay, so if the pig want to use that data, what happens? We have to load this data from where? From SDFS to the pig. Then only the pig can do transformation and they can do some kind of manipulation on the data. Therefore, this load operator is very much useful. What does meaning of this one? Grant A, load Olympic. Okay, let me see in the very clear way. Okay, if you see the second statement, you may have some difference. What I written is that we are going into the again grant cell. This A is a relation. I am putting load Olympic. This load Olympic. Okay. This load Olympic means what? We have the load Olympic. Now you may ask question, what is difference between these two statements? The first statement and the second statement. What is major difference? The major difference is that this Olympic is also we have a file. Within this file, you may have ample amount of data. We have data in this Olympic file. Okay, let me say the name of the athlete. The name of the athlete. Okay, and the country. Okay, from which country this athlete belongs. Like this, we may have n number of fields will be there. N numbers of fields will be there. But this field which is present inside this Olympic, what is separated by comma. It means if I am going to write list the athlete name of the athlete, okay, the country, name of the country, okay, say address of the athlete, like this I am writing many fields. Okay. Now this field, what? This field is being separated by the comma. It means we are not using tab space. What? We are going to separate the field by using only the comma. In such cases, I can call as, this is what file? It is called as .csv file. What file? .csv file. It means it is a comma separated values file. Okay, and we know that this load will have what? The load will have what? Default. What default means? It means that it can only having the tab spaces. You have a tab spaces as a default. But here what you are getting? We are getting this file what? In the forms of comma separated values. In this case, we need to specify. You need to specify the pig. Hey pig, I am having the file. What? Which is being separated by the comma. I am not using any default option. What options I am using? I have the file, and in this file I have a data, and in this in this data we have many fields, and all fields are separated by the comma. We need to inform this thing to the pig clearly that we are not using any default option. We are using what? We are using a comma. For that, we are going to use this important statement, you can say important syntax, which is called as pig storage, and you are going to write comma. It means that you are telling to the pig that I am having the file, and inside this file, all the fields are being separated by the comma only. For that purpose, we must indicate this syntax, which is called as what? Pig storage. So by understanding this, what we can know that this file, this file is in the forms of what? In the forms of comma separated values. Suppose if I am not using this one, let me take an instant. I am not using this syntax. I am not using. Then what does it mean? It means that this Olympic file, inside this we have a data, and all the field of the data is separated by tab only. We are not using the comma. Okay, the comma is not being used if you are not using this one. Okay, and but if you are going to use this one, means what? It means that we are going to separate the field by using what? By using the comma. For that you have to specify using pig storage, and then you have to what? You have to give the comma and semicolons. This is difference between these two statements, right? Last time I told that it means your data is where, first take the first script you take, the first line you take. The data of this is to date. Where it is loaded? It is loaded into which relation? To relation A. Now I want to display the data on my screen. I want to see the result on my screen. So if you want to see any result on the screen, we have to use a what? We have to use another operator which is called as dump. Which is called as what? This dump. What dump will do? Whatever the data is available within the relation A, it will project you on the screen. It will display you on the screen. You can get the same data on your screen, but it will not store data. It just project your data. It just display data on the screen. So if you want to have a result on the screen, we can go for which operator? We can go for the operator which is called as what operator? Dump operator. It means that the data which is present inside A is dumped on the screen. Dump on the screen, and you can see the data from the screen. For that purpose, what happens? We have to use this operator called as what operator? Dump operators. Okay, the dump operators will not going to store your data, but it just display data on the screen. Now you may ask another questions. What is difference between this dump and store? Already we discussed last time also. Dump and store. We have another instruction. Store means what? We are going to store where? We are going to store the result, okay, into some new folder. That is going to call as store operators. Store operators. So store is what? The store is also one kind of operators. For storage, we are going to use what operators? We are going to use the operator called as what operators? Store operators. It means we are going to store the result which is present into relation A. In relation A, we have some result. Okay, and that result you are going to store where? You are going to store into a new folder which is called as Bignan. So I can call as the Bignan is my new folder. So in this folder we can find the result, okay, which is already present in the relation A. So if you give this a store, it means that your result will be stored in a local file systems or in a Hadoop distributed file systems. Okay, that is difference between store and the load operator. Stores and the dump operators. Dump operators will dump the result on the screen, whereas the store operators will store the result into a folder which has to be created. You create a folder and you can dump result here. You can dump result into this Bignan folders. Okay, this is the basic difference between what? The dump and store operators. Now we're going to see the relational operators. See, these are the basic operators like load operators to load data into some relations. Okay, we have dump operators to display result on the screen. We have a store operators to store result into a new folders. Okay, so these are the basic operators which must be used while writing the pig Latin script. Without that, it is not possible to perform the operation called as ETL. What is ETL? E for extract, T for transform, okay, and ETL you can have what operation called as? You can call as extract, load and transform. Okay, extract, load and transform. That is called as ELT operation. Okay, ELT means what? You are going to extract the data from different source, then you're going to load it, and then what you're going to do, you're going to perform transformations. So for that purpose also, we must use these basic operations like load, we have to use dump, we have to use store. A lot of operators can be useful. Now apart from that, however, we are going to use another kind of operators which is most important for writing the script. That is what operators? It is called as relational operators. Relational operators. Now you understand the meaning of relation, right? Relation means what? Of course, table, right? Here also you can use just like a tables, relational operators. Now the first operators which is very much famous in Pig Latin script is what? For each operator. This is name of the relational what operators? For each operators. This is for each operators. For each operators. Now just you see the first line of the statements. You are in the pig cell, and this is called as gain. Gain is called as what? Relation. Gain is going to call as what? Relation. Okay. So always left hand side we have a relations. This is the left hand side is what? We have a relations. Okay. We have right hand side we have an operations we can perform. So what is relation here? The relation is gain is relations. Now for each price. Now what is price here? This price also I am going to call as one relation. Okay, I am going to call as for each price. For each price means what? It means for each price, okay, generate close minus open. So here this close is one field, and open is what? Open is one field. Open is one field. So I am going to perform the operations on this close field, open field. Okay, it means we have some values of close, we may have some values of open, and what both will be subtracted, and we are going to store the result. You're going to store a result into the gain. It means for each means the for each, if you give the for each means it is going to see each row. Each row is going to search each row. Okay, each row value should be calculated for the close, for the opens. For each row the value should be calculated for the close and open. Okay, and after calculating, what happens, it will try to store result where? Into the gain relations. So it's going to see these price relations. Okay, suppose if you have a price relations like this, in this that we may have a field called as close field. Okay, and we may have open fields, and we have many values will be there. Okay, so it's going to search each and every row. It perform an operation that is close minus open. It means the operations will perform, and whatever the results you are going to get, that result you are going to store back where? You are going to store back to this gain relations. Gain relations. Now here we have a result. We got a result. What result we got? We got this result inside the gain relations. Now I want to see the results. That's my aim. My aim is not to store result anywhere. I want to see only result. I want to see result on my screen, and for that purpose we have to use what? We have to use operator called as what operator? Dump operator, and we have to give the relation name. Okay, because in this relation only we have a result. So I want to see result from this relation. So if I'm going to give dump again, what happens? We are going to get the value of close minus open, and result will display on the screen. Okay, so for each operators, each operator is going to see each row, and based on your script, based on your action, based on your plan, it's going to execute the plan, and then you're going to store result back to the relations, and from there we can see the results. Okay, so this is very important operators we are using in the Pig Latin scripts. Then display the name of, you see the other example. Okay, the other examples also I will show you, so that see the other example what is given here. Display the name of the all students in uppercase. In uppercase, it means we have a relations, but we have a relations. Okay, in this relations there is a field called as name, and I want to display the name of every student in which letter into a capital letter. Okay, that's my question. So what I am doing is here is that I am using what operator here? Load operators. Okay, you are loading what file? You're loading what file? You're loading student.tsb file. What is TSB? That is tab separated values, because this file is always tab separated values. It means the fields are separated with tab. So no need of using pig storage. Okay, you should no need of using pig storage. So here you are defining some schema also. So this student file contains roll numbers. What is roll numbers? Roll numbers should be integer. So you're writing the roll number. Okay, roll number should be integers. Okay, then we have a name. Name should be char array. Okay, and GPA should what? It should be in floating point. Now I'm having roll number, right? So I'm going to have a roll number like 1, 2, 3, whatever roll numbers I'm going to get. And here we have the name. Suppose name is what? Name is Rahul. Okay, name is Rahul. Name is Murli. Okay, name is Krishna. We have names will be there, and GPA will be there. Suppose 4.0 is GPA, 4.5 is GPA, 5 okay, say, or 3.0 is a GPA. In this way, this file contains. Now what it says, now I have another relations. In these relations we have data of this student. In the which relations? In the relation called as what? A. Which relation? In the relation I'm going to call as A. Now I'm going to create another relations which is going to call as B, and I'm using what operator here? I'm using operators called as what operators? For each operators we're going to apply it going to apply on A. It means that this operator will be applying on the relation A. It means this is my relation A. What is my relation? This is my relation A. So I'm going to apply on the relation A. So on this relation A only, I'm going to apply these operators. For each means what? For each row. Generate upper. See, upper is what? Upper is the name of my function's name. What is function's name is what? Upper is the function's name, because pig is also having the inbuilt functions. The pig also having the user defined functions. Okay, so what is upper? Upper is the name of the functions. Now name, it means that I am going to apply on the name. So for each row I am going to point out the name for this one, and for this one, for each row. It means I am going to perform operations. I'm going to perform operation what? The operations on each row itself. So what happens here? For A generate upper name. So what happens? If you're writing this name in a small letter, suppose Rahul is in a small letter, say Rahul is a small letter, what result you're going to get? You're going to get the capital letter. That is, you're going to get is what? Rahul, in this way. Okay. Suppose if I having the Murli, if Murli is what letter? It is a small, if it is small letter, what happens? It convert into what? It convert into the capital letters. So this will going to happen, and the result of this one will going to store into where? Into B relation. It means that we are storing the result into the another relations which is called as B. Okay, now B will have the actual outcome. The B will have the actual output. So in B you have the actual output. Now I want to see the result, because I did it. I load the data into relation. Now I did some transformation also. What am I doing here? I'm doing these three things. I'm doing. First, what I'm doing? I'm loading. Very good. I did loading. Nice work. Then what I did? I did some transformation. Yes, I transformed this data, because I changed the data. I transformed some data. And what I'm going to get now? I'm getting some results. So I'm performing these three important things. First, I'm loading the data. Second, I'm doing some kind of transformation. After transformation, what happens? I'm storing result where I'm keeping this where? I'm keeping this on the B. So if you do up to this, nothing is going to happen. This statement remain as it is. You won't get any output. You won't store any output, because the pig is a lazy operators. So once you fire this statement only, the processing will take place, the processing will happen. Otherwise, it remain as it is. It remain as it is, just like a pig. If the pig is sit in one place, okay, it will sit in one place only for a long time. If somebody push the pig, then it will go away. Or if somebody kick the pig, then it will go away. So just like what? It is just like a pig is a lazy operator. So it means up to this statement, nothing is happened. So when you're going to fire the statement, when you're going to do the processing, when you're going to see the results, when you're going to write this statement, what statement I'm going to write? The dump B. It means whatever the transformation you made, and the result of the transformation which you keep in the B, I want to see on the screen. That's all. So if you want to see on the screen, what we have to give? We have to give dump and B. If you give dump and B, immediately you see the result. Okay, you see the result. All the name, the field, okay, the field is what? The name. All the name of this what? Or it will display into which letter? Into the capital letters. Okay, so this is what? This is use of which operator? This is use of which operator? For each operator. I hope you understand the meaning of the for each operators. Now, we're going to see about the filters. What is I'm going to filter? What is our agenda here? How I'm going to filter it? Find the tuples of those students where the GP is greater than 4.0. It means that I want to only select those rows or those tuple whose GP is greater than 4.0. It means that I'm giving some conditions. I'm giving some conditions for filtering. Okay, for example, in Vignan University also, if they want to recruit some people from outside, they'll give some conditions. Okay, the people who have PhD, they can apply for the post of associate professor. The people who have MTech with 10 years of experience, they can apply the post of assistant professor. It means that they are giving some terms and conditions. Okay, why they want to filter the applications? They may get a number of applications from outside source. So they want to filter it. So for filtering, what happens? They are going to give some conditions. Similarly, here also giving some conditions. What condition going to give? That those rows I am going to select, okay, where GP is what? Greater than 4.0. So if once the conditions apply, there what you are going to use? We are going to use what operators? Which is called what operators? Filter operators. The filter is one of the operators used in the Pig-Latins. You see how the filter operators will going to work. Okay, this is example of the filter operators. Okay, now see here I'm using the same very simple statement here. Okay, again A is what? A is a relations I'm having. I'm using what operators? I'm using load operators. Okay, I'm loading what data into a relation? I'm loading what data? Student dot tab separated values, because it is tab separated values. So all the fields are separated by the tab. It has the following schema. What is schema you have? We have a schema of roll number, which is what data type? Data type is integer. We have what? Schema of name. And what data type is what? Data type is char array. And what is you have GP is another field. And what data type? Data type is the float, because GP will be in the floating point. 3.0, 4.1, 3.1, it's in GPA, floating point. Now I have this file which is having the following fields, and in this file you may have many datas about the students. Okay, now I want to filter only those data, only those students whose GP is what? Whose GP is what? Greater than 4.0. Obviously, I can apply the filter here. For me, there is no other options, because I want to filter them. I don't want 3.0 students. I don't want 2.0 GPA. I want GPA who is greater than 4.0. It means I need a bright students. I don't need the weak students. I don't need the foolish person. I want only the people who are very bright students. I want to get. I want to get it from this data. So what we do is that we are going to apply the filter operator. So here what I am doing, I am just creating another relations. We have another relation which is called as what? The B. Just P is another relations. that I am equal to filter A. It means that I am going to apply the filtering on which relation? On relation A only. Keep it in mind. Okay, because relations A, it contain how many fields we have? We have field called as roll numbers. We have a roll numbers. Okay, then what do we have? We have a name. Okay, and then what we have? We have a GPA. Okay, GPA. So roll numbers may be 1, 2, 3 roll numbers. Name may be Rahul. Okay, and GPA is 3.1. What is roll number is 145. Name is Mrs. Said. Okay, and what is GPA is what? 3.6. Okay, what is roll number is 169. What is name? Name is Kavita. Okay, Kavita. And what is GPA? GPA is what? 4.5. Like this, I am writing the many. We have many data in this file. Now, if you apply this filter, it will going to select only those tuples whose GPA is greater than 4.0. And after doing transformations, where you're going to store all this transformation? You're going to store it where? Into which relation? Into relation B. Now B is holding the tuple of the student who is having GPA greater than 4.0. So here my transformation is completed. Here my loading is already completed. Okay, now I want to see the results. I don't want to store the results. Simply what? I want to see the results. So if you want to see the results, you have to use what? We have to use the dump B. It means that whatever transformations you made into B, that result will going to display on the screen. That is going to call as what? Dump B. So this is called as what operators? The filter operators. And filter operators plays in vital roles when you want to filter many records. Okay, you want to need only necessary data you want to get. Okay, you want to apply some cleaning operations. You want to have data which is required by the organizations. In this case, what happens? We can use the concept of filtering. Okay. Now you see the other types of operator also, group operators. See, this statement, okay, I written somewhat indirectly to make you more, to give you more explanations about that. You see here, what I did is, I had taken relation what? A. What I did, what is operators I am using is load operators. What is my file name is what? Olympic. Using pigstore, what does it mean? It means that this file, in this file, the field is what? Separated by comma. We are not using the default option. Okay, so we are mentioning here that this file having the field and all the field are separated by comma only. So I written like that. Then I am going to do some kind of transformation. Some transformations I am doing. What transformation I am doing is that the B is equal to group A by $2. What to? $2. What does it mean? It means that this Olympic will have many fields. It may have many fields like this, right? Say it have many fields. You will have many fields will be there. Suppose the name of the athlete, okay, the address of the athlete, the phone number of the athlete, okay, the email address of the athlete, and also the country, in which country he belongs, the country name also. So you may have many fields. This field means you can call it column. It may have many column. $0 means what? $0 indicate the first field or first column. $1 indicate what? The second column or second field. Likewise, the $3 indicates what? Third columns or third field. Likewise, it will go. Now, somewhere else in this file, we can find $2. Let me say, for instance, The $2 in $2 what field we have? Suppose what field we have? We have country field. For your timing, I am telling. For example, what happens in $2? What is $2 means what? It is a field, it is a column. And what is the name of the column? The name of the column is what? The country. Name of the column is what? The country. Okay? Country. In Olympic, we can find many countries are participating. Okay, many countries are participating. India is participating, Australia is participating, New Zealand is participating, Pakistan is participating, Bangladesh is participating. It means all over the world, the peoples are participating. Now, I want to group the athlete based on the country, Okay, for India country, the information related to the India athlete, the information related to the India, data related to the India must be what? Must be in India group. It must be in India group. Likewise, the information related to the Australia, you can have what? The information related to Australia, all the athlete who belongs to the Australia, what? Must be in Australia group. So, I am making the group based on the country. My India is my country. All the data which is related to India must be in my India, into the group called as India. Suppose you take the Sudan. Sudan is a country. All the data of Olympics related, all data of Sudan country, what must be in where? Must be in one group called as what? Sudan. It means here what I'm making the group A. It means I'm applying the group on A, and what I'm going to make group by $2. $2 is what? $2 is nothing but it is the third column of your table, third column of your Olympic file. $0 indicate first column, $1 indicate second column, and $2 indicate what? It indicates the third column. So third is my third column. Third column is what? My country. Country is my third. Country is my third column. So I am going to make grouping what? Based on this country only. Because in the given file, the third column belongs to the country. So I am going to preserve the data belongs to that particular country. I want to keep information belongs to that particular country. In such scenario, in such situation, we have to use what operator? We have to use what are the operators? We have to use the group operators. Okay, you will see some example also group operators. Now here you see some example of the group operators. What this statement says here, right? Read these statements so that you can this statement, just check it out. Here is saying A is what? A is a relation. A is a relations. Load. You're loading what data? String data, string file. Which format? It is format of tape separated values. As the same schema we have roll numbers, name and GPA. Now group A by GPA dummy. What is group A by GPA? Okay, it means that suppose we have a GPA in a table, we have a GPA, right? Suppose we have a GPA, you have a GPA, suppose 4.0, we have a GPA 3.0, we have a GPA 2.0, we have a GPA, suppose you say 5.0, it's a GPA. So what I'm doing here is that I'm going to apply this group on which relation? On relation A. Okay, and I'm going to display the result based on the GPA. Based on the GPA. It means I'm going to select those students who got 4.0 as a GPA. They will be one group. They will be one group. So I'm going to make how many groups I can make? For 4.0, we have one group. I can get result of those students who got the results. How much GPA? 4.0. I can make another group we're going to call as what? The 3.0. For that, I can have result of those students who got 3.0 as a GPA. Okay, I can have the result of students who can got the GPA, suppose 5.0. It means that I'm making the group based on the GPA. So I can write B is equal to group A by GPA. It means Here we are going to form the group based on the GPA. So those students who got GPA 4.0, they will be in one group. Those students who got GPA 3.0, they will be in another group. Those students who got the 5.0 as a GPA, they will be in another group. So I am going to categorize them based on their GPA. I am making them as a group. Now once you make this group, now we can display the results. Okay, so this all grouping will be done, and where you going to do transformation? The transformation or result should be, it should be in B only. So you are getting all these results where into B only. So up to this, we are writing the simple script you writing, simple line you writing. We are not doing any kind of processing, nothing we did. Just I loaded, I transform it. Now I want to do display my results on the screen. Again the same thing, same story. We can write dump and B. Dump B means what? We can get this result on the screen. On the screen you can see those students who greater than or who can have 4.0 GPA, the list of the name will be displayed. This much students having GPA 4.0. This much students having GPA 5.0. This much students having GPA 3.0. Okay. Why? Because it will be categorized in the forms of what? In the forms of categories. Okay. What categories? We have categories of 4.0 GPA, categories of 3.0 GPA, the categories of 5.0 GPA, and so on. Okay. So this is where the group operators is very much useful. Now we have another operators, which is called what operators? Distinct operators. What operators? Distinct operators. What is the main use of distinct operators? Distinct operators is nothing but it removes duplicate tuples of distance. So if you have a duplicate row in a given relation, it will remove. Suppose my record will be duplicated 2 times. So it will not allow to have duplications in your relations. So to remove duplicate tuples, we are going to use what kind of operators? Distinct. Okay, you see here distinct. Same here, we have relations. You are loading the same student data into relations A, and I am making B distinct A. It means distinct A means what? If you have a duplicate record in the A, that will be eliminated. It will never display a duplicate record. It displays only unique record. Unique record can be displayed. So if you want to display unique data, a unique information, unique record, we have to use what operators? Distinct operators. And then it displays result what? Dump B. It means dump B means what? In B you will have only the unique record. Duplications will be removed automatically. To remove duplicate tuples, we have to use what? We have to use distinct operators. Now we are going for the next operator called what operator is? Limit operators. It is very easy. Just like in SQL also using limit operators. Here also we have the limit operators. So division is what? Division is what? It is the name of the relations. You are loading what data? You are loading data of, this is the name of the file that you are going to load here. You are going to load into these relations. You are not giving any schema, because last time I told that the pig doesn't feel if you not give any schema. If you give also okay, if you won't give also okay. For pig is everything is fine. So here you are not giving any kind of schema. Now limit division 10 means what? Whatever the information is available in this division relations, it will display only 10 record. Okay, because you are giving how much? Limit 10. Limit division 10 means what? It is going to display only the 10 record. From which relation? From the relation division. Because in divisions you may have a multiple records. You may have many ample of data. I want only 10 records. I want only 10 tuples. Okay, 10 records I want from this division relations. In this case I can say what? Limit division 10, and this records will go into the first 10. It is also one kind of another relations. And then what I'll do? I'll just put dump first 10. It means I'm going to get the 10 record from this, where? From this relations. Okay. So here you are loading the data. Here you are doing some transformation of the data. You are taking only the 10 records from the bulk amount of files, and then what are you doing? You are displaying the results. So here loading will take place. Okay. Then what happens here? Here transformation is take place. You are doing transformations, and what happens here? Storing the results. So limit operators will going to have a limit how much records you want to have from the given relations. You want 20 records, or you want 30 records, you want 40 records, or you want 1000 records. Okay, we can access it using what? Using the limit operators. Now next is going for the join operators. Okay, it's just similar like a SQL queries. Okay, if you want to join the two tables to have a complete access of informations. Why joining the two tables? Because to get accurate informations, or to get proper informations, we can join the tables. Okay, same thing you can do here also. Here I am going to create two relations. One relation is called as A. In this relation, what happens? I am going to load what data? Data of the students. I am loading here to relations A. And what is the field we have? Roll number is a field, name is a field, and GPA is one field. Okay. Now we have another relations. In this relation, what I am doing? I am going to load another call as a file of the department, which has the following field: roll numbers, then department numbers, department, like this we have following fields. Then here what happens? I am going to make joining of A. It means I am taking relations A and relations B joining, because both are having the common roll numbers. Roll numbers is also common, roll number also common. So what happens? These both tables will be getting joined, and then what happens? You can see the results. If you put dump C, you can see the result of this joining operations. You can see the result of joining operations. If you put dump C, dump B means what? You can see the result of department. In department, what are the data available? You can see if you keep dump B. Dump C means what? We are going to get the information from the both the tables. It means both the tables are getting joined. Okay, for that you have to use what? We have to use the dump C. Okay, so this dump C is basically used if you want to display the result on the screen. And C means what? Here you are going performing the joining operations on which relation? Relations A and relations B by using what field? The field is roll numbers and roll number, because roll number is common here and roll number also is common here, so it is possible to perform join operations. So when you need join operation, suppose I have one table, I have another table, but I am not getting full information from a single table. I am not getting full information from other table. So in this case, what happens? You have to merge the table and you can access the desired result from these tables. For that you have to use what? We have to use the join operations. Now we are going for next very important operators, which is what operators? The split operators. What is splitting? Dividing. I am having a table. I can divide this table into two parts. I can divide this table into three parts. I can have relations. Relations can be divided into many parts. That is called as what? Splitting. So here what I am doing is that I am doing some partitions on relations. So, okay. So I am going to carry out partitions on relation based on the GPA, acquired by the students. So whatever the GPA acquired by the students, I am doing some kind of partitions. Okay. So here I am making two partitions. These relations will be having two partitions. One partition I can call as relation X. Okay, X. Other partition I am going to call as what? I am going to call as relations Y. So this X means what? This X plays into relation X, because if GPA is equal to 4.0, the students whose GPA is 4.0 must be placed into which relation? Relation X. This is my condition. If GPA is less than 4.0, that student will go to what? It will go to which relation? It will go to which relation? Go to relations Y. It means that I am just diverting my data. I am just doing some kind of diversifications. I am diverting my data into two different relations based on certain condition. If GPA is 4.0, those students who got GPA 4.0 go to which relation? Go to relation X. Those students who got GPA less than 4.0 go to which relation? Go to relation Y. It means I am just dividing data into two relations. For that purpose, you have to use what operators? You have to use split operators. Now see this statement here, how it works. Very easy. What relations I am having? The relation A is I am having the relation A. I am loading what data? Student data to which relations? To relations A. I am having the following feeds. Now this relations A is divided into two relations. Split into two relations. Split A, it means I am splitting what? I am splitting A into X, into what? Into X. First, if conditions are satisfied, if this condition I am giving, split A into X if GPA is what? Is equal to 4.0. Split A into what? Y if GPA is what? Less than equal to what? 4.0. So in this way I am going to split the relation. So here we are getting the student's information, the student's result into X whose GPA is equal to 4.0. We are getting the result of the students whose GPA is less than 4.0 into the Y. Okay. Now if I put dump X, what happens? In dump X means what? I am getting those tuples, those record of the students whose GPA is 4.0. If I am putting dump X, what happens if I give you dump Y? Dump Y, it will display the result of those students who is having GPA less than equal to 4.0. Okay. So this is called as what? Splitting. So if you have a, where you use splitting? If you have a table and if table is overloaded, we have more amount of data is available in table. We have massive amount of information is there in table, and you want to segregate the data, you want to filter the data, okay, you want to keep the data in proper arrangement, in proper structure. Okay, in that time what happens? You have to use what operators? We have to use the split operators. It is split it based on the conditions which we are going to provide. We are going to give conditions, based on the condition what happens? The splitting will take place, and that is called what operators? That is called as split operators. Split operators. Now we are going to see next called as a pig-Latin statements. What is pig-Latin statements? These pig-Latin statements will going to follow three important statements. The first one is called as what? The load statements, which already we discussed. The second is what? The series of statements to perform transformations. So you are going to do some transformations. And third is what? To display the results or to store the results. So these pig-Latins will have three important statements only. First statement, you have to load the data into your relations. Second is what? You do some kind of transformations, you do some kind of computations. And third is what? We can either display the results or you can store the results. We have two possibility: display results or we can store the results. So these are three important statements which you are going to have in pig-Latin. The pig-Latins will follow these three important structures. It will load the data, it will transform the data, it will store or it will display the data on the screen. Okay. So this is called as what a statement? It is called as the pig-Latin statements, which is going to follow these three important ordered. First order is what? Load. Second order is what? Transform. Third order is what? Store or display the results. Now this is example which I am giving here. Here what are you doing first? You are loading into which relation? Relations A. Then what you are doing? You are doing some kind of transformation. This is going to call as what? Transformation. I am transformation is taking place. It means I am going to filter the student based on the GPA greater than 4.0, and then I am going to, so here what happens? I am doing some transformation. It means here the transformation is going to take place. So here you are loading Okay, then what are you doing? You are going doing transformation. And if you want to display result, what do you do? We have to write simply dump A, and you can see the results of that statement. So here three things happen. No, what is first happen? We are doing loading. What is second thing happen? We are doing transformation. And what third you did? We did a dump. Dump means showing the results on the screen. You take this statement. What are you doing here? You are just for each A means what? Relation, the same relations we have. For each A relations, generate upper name. It means for this relation, the name, what happens? The name I am going to convert into which letter? Into capital letters. So if the name followed by small letters, what you are doing? You are converting them into the capital letters by using what? Upper functions. So this is going to call as what? We are going to call it, you are doing what? You are doing transformation here. What you are doing here is you are doing the transformations. Okay, transformations we are going to do. So for each A, generate upper, and what you are doing here? You are going to store the results. You are going to store the result here only. Okay, and how to store the results? If you want to store the results, we have to create a folder. So I am going to store A. A means what? We have a relation. In these relations, we have a result of what? The result of upper. Okay, and this transformation results what you have in A must be stored into the folder which is called as my report. My report is the name of the folder. What this is called as what? The name of the folder. So in this folder only what happens? We are going to store the results of A. So by seeing this example, we came to know that we are going to follow certain sequence. First we have to load it, then you do transformation, then you have display the results, or you can store the results. Now we are going to see the pig is a ETL tool or not. Pig is what tool? It is called as ETL tool, right? Can you justify why it is called as ETL tool? Already we had discussed so many examples. Last time also I have given an example for you. What I given example for you last time? You remember? We are taking data from different source. Last time I told you are taking data from MySQL. Okay, you are taking data from web server. You are taking data from the web server. You are taking data from the application server. Okay, and placing this data where? Into the folder called as a folder will be there. It means that we are doing what? You are extracting the data from the different sources. From different sources you are extracting the data, and where you are loading? You are loading into this folder. It means first we did extraction. After extracting, what you are doing? That we are loading this data into this folder, and then what you are doing? What pig will do? The pig will do transformation. It will transform this data, and after transform, what it will do? It will try to put the results back to the Hadoop only. This is Hadoop. This is going to call as what? The Hadoop. It means the pig always follows three important strategy. One is called as extract. You are going to extract the data from different source. E means what? E means extract. This T indicate what? Transform. This T means what? It is going to call as transform. T means what? Transform. And L means what? L is going to call as what? The load. Extract, transform and load. You see this example. Okay, extract, transform and load. That's what we are going to have PTL, right? PTL will always have this strategy. First it will going to extract the data, it will transform it, and what it will going to load it. It means that the pig will take data from SDFS, then it will do some kind of transformation. One transformation comes, what happens? It will going to load this data back to what? Back to the SDFS. Same study is going to happen here also. You see here, we are taking the data from different sources. We are taking the data. It means you are taking data from RDBMS, NoSQLs. Okay, you are taking that. This is called as what data? It is called what data? It is structured data. You are having called as what data? Structured data. You are taking the structured data. We are taking what data? Semi structured data. We have JSON, we have XML, we have CSV. This is what data? These are semi structured data. you are taking the SaaS application, you are taking the application, means you are taking the data from different sources. It means that we are going to extract, or you are extracting the data from the different multiple sources. The extractions will be taking place from the different sources. That is going to call as what? Extract. What extracts will be happen? What are you going to do? You are going to apply some transformation. You are going to transform the data. Right? We do some kind of manipulations on the data. What transformation is going to be happen? One transformation is going to happen. What happens? You are going to store result where? You are going to store result into the data warehouse. And then what happens? You can analyze here. What is data warehouse for the pig? I can call as Hadoop, right? Because Hadoop is what? Is kind of, because HDFS, right? HDFS is just like what? It is just behave like a data warehouse. So you can apply, you can do some analyzing report. Same thing we did here also, right? What are you doing? We are taking the data from different sources, that is called as extract. Then what are you doing? You are doing some kind of transformation here on this data, because we have a raw data. So raw data must be transformed, and one transformation take place. What happens? Again you are loading this data where? Back to the Hadoop. Again from Hadoop what happens? The Hive can analyze this data. The Hive also can use to analyze this data. That's why the pig is also called as ETL tool. E for extract, T for what? T for transform, and L for load. Okay, and pig is also called as what? Clean factory, data factory, cleaning factory. It cleans the data. How is going to clean? By using what process? ETL process. ETL process can be used for the cleaning purpose. So this is what this happen. You are taking data from the different sources. It means data may be structured data, it may be semi-structured data, it may be unstructured data. Or you bring data to the for transformation. So who can do transformation? The pig will do the transformation, and then after transform what happens? It will try to store result back to the data warehouse. So what is data warehouse for us? You can say Hadoop is a kind of data warehouse. We are going to place data there itself. We have SDFS, right? So pig will take data from SDFS, it try to transform it. After transform what happens? It will try to put result into the SDFS back. Just we had seen the example of Twitter also. In Twitter what we did? We are doing the same thing. You are extracting, you are transforming, and then what are you doing? You are loading. You are extracting the data from where? From the Twitter. You are loading it, we are loading into SDFS. Then what pig will do? Pig will take the data, they will transform it, and result put back to the SDFS. So that's why this pig is very famous for ETL process, which is called as extract, transform and load. Extract, transform and load. So many people they say the pig is very much famous for ETL processing and also batch processing. It can be used for ETL processing and batch processing, and simply you can call as the pig is a ETL tool. What tools? It is kind of the ETL tools, right? So I hope you understand about the ETL process. Already we had learned in data mining also and data warehousing how ETL process is carried out. The same way pig also going to use the same strategy for ETL. Okay, so pig is also called what tool? It is also called as the ETL tools. So thank you very much for watching my video. We will continue the next sessions, the next topic.